Hi everyone, it's Kelly again, and we are going to go with our Hydrangea number 2 project for Third Fridays for April of 2021. This project today is one that I cased. I know that sounds funny, I'm always casing things, but I had an opportunity to get a tutorial from Erica Serwin. It's Cerwin. She's in the USA, and she has lots of great ideas, and she created this beautiful box. Mine is a little bit different than hers, using the Hydrangea Haven bundle. And so what we are going to do tonight is we are going to make this box. Now, I made mine so it opens up this way. If you would prefer for this to go vertically, then you're going to want it to open that way. Right now it's a left-handed box if I did it vertically, but I was doing it horizontally, so it opens up this way. It will fit some candy, maybe some other kind of a treat that you want to put in there. It would make a great little gifty box for Mother's Day. It would be a great little gift box to give for just someone a great thank you. So we're going to get started. This is the bundle that we're using, and in here I have got the stamp sets, and I also have the die cuts, and we will be using this, and this, and we're also using the little tag. Okay, so hopefully this will be fun. I hope you enjoy this. I also used a couple other products. Sorry, I have tongue twister there. These are currently on the retired list, and after May, gosh, I can't talk, May 3rd, these will not be available. I used the large oval die in here, and this is the stitched shape dies, and they are on the retired list. And then these are, I used these to create the bases of the box and cut some of the designer series paper, and this is called the stitched nested label dies. These two, my favorites. I'm sad to see them go. I've used these so much, but I used the large die here and the largest die on this side in this project. So now you've seen everything that I used besides the paper. So you should have a baggie that is going to have a number of things in it. What it will not have is pearls. Depending upon how many pearls you want to put on your project, or maybe you don't want to put pearls, maybe you want to use Nouveau dots or something else. Maybe you have something else you want to put in there. Maybe you want to put glitter in there. For that reason, I'm letting you choose what you put in. So you should have a piece of paper that is scored and is in the purple. You should have 2 of the bases that are out of the stitched nested dies. You should have 1 DSP. You should have a base flower, 1 oval, 1 leaf vines that are going to go on here, 1 hydrangea die cut that is in the Highland Heather. In a little baggie, you should have a number of little flowers that are out of Gorgeous Grape and your tag. Okay, so we're going to start off by making our box. Oh, you should also have a little bow. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully you have all of your supplies next to you. You may need your Stampin' Seal. You may need this. Your multi-green glue. You will need a bone folder. You will need some snips, and you will also need a take your pick tool. Okay, and a stamp for your sentiment, and I'm using the Highland Heather ink. So we're going to start by making our box, and it's extremely simple to do. You just have to be very careful with where you cut. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through on this one, and we are going to, let me put my glue over there, we are going to burnish all the score lines, both horizontally and vertically. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to take our paper snips and we are going to come straight up to the very first score line on each one of these scores. You're going to cut up to that very first score line and just keep going down the way. Flip it over and do the other side. Okay, so now we're going to do you should have this all cut, and we're going to use a trick that Julie DiMatteo uses when she teaches box making. She folds in of the flaps and then she cuts a miter off of it. Okay, and we're just going to do on the end ones, we're just going to cut a little piece of pie off of that one. We are not going to cut on this one. Then we're going to go to the center one, and on this one we are going to cut both sides. Just take a little piece of pie off of each side. It's like a sliver of pizza, sliver of cake, however you want to look at it. And then on the very end one, you're just going to do the inside one. Okay? We're going to flip that over, and we are going to do the exact same thing to the other side. If you fold this in, it's easier to see which one you have to miter. And then this very last one, there we go. Throw away your scraps, and you should have something that looks like this. Score lines, this part and this part are square. These have little bits taken out all over. Now, you can use score tape for this, but I find that when I make boxes, it's important for me to have glue. The all-purpose green glue that is Stampin' Up! Is absolutely perfect for this. However, I am currently trying to use up glue that I own. So we are going to start by making this box, and I'm going to use my glue. I am going to put glue on this side as soon as I get the glue to flow. I always have to stick a pin in here like 3 times. You don't have to do that with the green glue, by the way, just this glue that I'm using here. Okay, and I'm going to take and I'm going to fold this so that it is flush, and as you can see, I can move it so it's square here. Okay, and I'm putting the short side on the inside. Okay, I am not putting it on the outside. I'm leaving that to be this here. I'm also going to do the other side in the same spot. Okay, and you just have to pinch it for a minute, and that would be the same with the green glue or the glue that I'm happy to be using right now. Okay, now we're going to do the base of our box, And I'm going to put glue on both of these tabs. Oh, was a little sloppy there, but I'll fix it. Okay, and now I'm going to make this be flush. Put those things on the inside of the box and hold. Get it squared off. Hold that and just hold it for a second. It doesn't take very long. Just hold it for a second. Now we're going to come to the other side, and what we are going to do is we are going to glue these to here and this to here. But I'm going to do it in this fashion. I'm going to hold my box. I'm going to fold this over. I'm going to lift these out of the way for just a minute. I'm going to fold this over. Now I'm going to put glue on one flap. And I'm going to put this down over it. This is so it stays just slightly bigger than the bottom, so it can open and close easily. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to fold that in. I'm going to put my glue or adhesive on here. And if you're like me and you're sloppy with glue, make sure you've cleaned that up before you shut this. And then put this one on top. Okay, this should open up easily and close easily. I am just holding this together. This is what the box should look like. You have a complete solid base and you have a lid, and this lid should just fit on top like that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do for this box, and it's pretty simple. The rest of this is really simple. This was the hardest part, so if you mastered this, you've done a great job. So now we're going to adhere this to our base. And again, you want to think about your orientation. If you're looking at it this way and you want it to open up the way I did the first box, such as this, that's important to just know which way this is opening up. So I am going to put glue all over the bottom of this. And as you can see, I'm quite generous with it. And then I am going to set this on here. Now, I am trying to see if I've got it fairly even. I don't. It's a little bit sloppy. But the glue gives me a moment or two to move this. So we're pretty good right there. Okay. And now I'm going to take the other stitched piece and use the pretty side up. You can use the other side, but this side has got some embossing on it. It's really pretty. So now we're just going to glue this. Again, if you want to use score tape for this, feel free to do it. But I am not that good at lining things up. So, and I am the first to say it. So I hold this and look at it, and I kind of move it, make sure we are even, and I think we're good. So now I can start assembling a portion of this that's pretty simple. This part doesn't take a lot to do either. Let me go ahead and I'm going to close my glue for just a moment here. And I'm going to get out my stamp and seal. And I am going to possibly put adhesive on this. Okay, now this happens to be just a little bit smaller than the top, but it should just fit on here. Decide, which way you want it to go. Kind of look at it and realize, oh, this is going to fit in there like this. And if you don't press down on it, you'll have a little bit of time to move it around a little bit. It just fits in there with a little bit of extra on the top and the bottom. Okay, so I can push that down. It's going to stay. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to put my oval on here. At this point, it doesn't matter which way your box opens up. You just want to make sure that this is in the center. So again, I'm just going to take my stamp and seal, and I'm just going to take a little bit here. Well, I'll put a little bit more. I like it to be pretty well secured. Okay, so we are pretty much to the point of the futzy stuff. So now we've got our box, we've got our DSP on there, we've got our oval on here. We're going to set this aside for just a moment. And what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our flower and then get ready to put it on here. The first thing I'm going to do though is I am going to adhere this piece to this piece. Again, I do not, if you look at this, I do not glue everything down. I leave some of it so it is movable. I think it just gives it a little bit more interest. And also it's easier to glue if you're not trying to get glue in all these little places. So I do the base, the tip, I might do one there, base, tip, base, tip. This one I may do a little there, and I may put a little bit in here, but nothing much. I mean, we're talking maybe 10 little dabs of glue there. And then I'm going to adhere this to my leaf base. And don't worry, you can move it to where you need it to be and then just press down. Okay, now here comes the funniest part of this whole thing, if you ask me. You are going to take your snips, and what you are going to do is you're actually going to cut off the green. And cut off the green. You do not have to do it exactly the way I've done it just now. All you are doing is cutting off this green so that you have a little tab here that you can glue this onto. Okay? That is what you're trying to do. You're trying to glue the leaves to this, and I've got my glue open, so I'll just put a little glue on there. This you can use Stamp and Seal. You could use a glue dot if you choose. I would use something a little bit more like glue. And I'm going to let that sit there a second, and I'm going to close my glue again, because now we are going to put that hydrangea on. I'm going to need my glue here in a second. We are going to put the hydrangea on here. To do that, you are going to need Stampin' Dimensionals, okay? And you may want some little ones or you may want big ones. I tend to use the bigger ones because I am going to put dimensionals all over the back of this. And I'm going to put it on the leaves. I'm very generous with these. I like using them. They are fun. And this is basically how you're adhering this flower to the box itself. Okay? And these can go out. It doesn't matter at this point. They don't have to stay on the green. You're just trying to lift up the flower. So I kind of do 4 through there, a few down here. I push them down real good. Okay? And then this is when it gets critical, is knowing which way you want this to orientate open. If you are going to do it so it opens this way, you're going to put your flower on this way. If you want it to open up going right to left like this, you want to be sure you put your flower on this way so that it will open up right to left. Okay? The other way in front is like this or like this. So I'm going to make this one actually open up where it opens up from the opens up from the right to the left. Okay? And so here's where I take that wonderful take your pick tool, and I can pull these off, and I just love being able to do this because it makes it so much quicker, so much easier. And as you can see, they're kind of collecting on my take your pick tool. Well, that one wants to be a little bit bugaboo. Come on, bugaboos. Can't have bugaboos on here. So now they're all there. I take this little clump and pitch it over my trash can, and they kind of all stick together. So again, before I set this down, because I did it a different way before, I'm going to verify that this is opening in the direction that I want. And now I'm going to look at this, and I am going to put it on here and just press down. Okay, it's supposed to lift up. That's how it is. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's looking really good right now. Looking really, really good. Now the putsy part of this, I just have to say, is putting on the purple items, the little purple flowers on your hydrangea here in the gorgeous grape. Okay, so how I learned to do it, and it went really fast for me, is I basically folded them into a little dot. Yeah, I just folded up all four sides. And this is where having glue is kind of nice. I could put a little bit of glue right here, maybe. Well, maybe not. I'll have to poke it again. I love it when my tools don't work. It's usually my mouth that's not working right, but this time it was a tool. Okay, and I just set it down. Okay, just set it there. You're just going to go through, and you're going to do this to every last one. If you want to put them all on, you have lots to use. If you don't want to put them all on, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, there's no rhyme or reason how many you put on. Just know that fold them into the center and create like a little cup with them, and they're easier to glue and adhere. Okay, and again, it is just a little bit of glue. It's not a lot. And with the multi-purpose glue, you can do another thing you could do would be to take some glue and put it on your silicone mat. Let me get some of this out. You could easily just put a glob of glue on here. Fold these up so that they look good. Dip them in the glue. Set them on. Okay? That's as easy as it has to be. You don't have to do little itty bitty glues. This is a faster way to do it. I tend to do the putsy way, but that's just me. And then you just dab it in there, getting a little bit of glue on there, and just adhere it. Okay, I am not going to go through and do all of them on this one. I will come back and finish it. So we will continue on to our next steps. You will have, if you're watching the video, I would pause it at this point and finish that. Or just watch it all the way through so that you know how this ends, and then you can go forward and finish off. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my little tag here. And I'm using the Highland Heather. And the one I made at first says thank you. But this one is going to say for you. So I've got it on a little itty bitty block. I think it's an A block. And I'm just going to put for you on there. There we go. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because it's a little tag. And it's okay. Okay, so let me put that up and out of the way. You're going to put dimensionals on here. And I used 2 before, believe it or not. I did use 2 of them in here. I just butted them up to each other really well. And got the handy take your pick tool. Come on. Okay. And I am going to place this like right here in between my 2 leaves. And that doesn't look so pretty there. So we're going to cover it up with our little bow. So you should have a little bow like this. And this time we are going to use a glue dot. But before we put the glue dot on, I'm going to grab my take your pick. I'm going to grab my little glue dots here. And let me get that little piece of paper off of there. And I'm going to just kind of ball up that glue. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm just creating a little ball with the glue. And I am going to set this right here, and I'm going to put my little bow on top of it like that. Okay? And just move it around so that the bow is actually there. And now it looks like you tied it on, and you didn't tie it on. If it's a little long, your bow, go ahead and snip it a little bit. And after these have dried is when you're going to add your pearls or whatever embellishments you would like to add to this at that time. You can do, you could do rhinestones. Rhinestones would be fun if you have somebody who really is into the blingity bling. Or you can do pearls. And I'm going to do pearls. So I'm getting out my pearls. And if you have them, you would just get them out at this time. I am going to use the smaller pearls. I am not going to use the medium size or the large, just the small ones for this project. I think this is delicate enough that it needs just the small ones. Let's see here. Well, I don't know where that part went, so we'll just go like this. So if you have your take your pick, you can take the part with the sticky part, and you can pull off one of these, and you can set them in here and push down. Okay? And as you can see, I end up actually going in with my fingers. Now you can see that these are flattening, but you can lift them back up. Don't worry about it. They will be able to be lifted up. So that is how we are going to finish this project so that it ends up being as beautiful as this. Now, the two are oriented two separate ways. The one that says thank you is going to open up this way. The one that says for you is going to open up this way. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun making it. It really is a nice surprise. You could put something really sweet in there. It could be food. It could be, it could be little love note. I don't know. But I think you'll have fun with this, and whoever gets it will feel very, very special to have this beautiful box, and it's one they'll probably keep for a while too. So that's it for this video. This is called Hydrangea number 2 treat box. And again, I'm just going to give a shout out to Erica Serwin, who is the person who created this, and I changed a little bit of what's on top, but not very much. The box and everything is hers. Thank you again, and don't forget, I am going to have just a picture of Hydrangea number 3, and I will just show it to you here. Set these a little bit aside. This is Hydrangea number 3. It is just basically a very simple card with mat and layer and a sentiment that's popped up with a bow. And then the thing I did here is I used watercolor markers on a stamp and put part of it is purple, part of it is blue, and colored it with green, and then stamped it on my image. I did that on the envelope too. I hope you enjoy my video, and I can't wait to do May's videos because that is going to be all men's cards. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.